the first moment that everybody got a whiff of what was happening from Anzac Park to when they hit the entrance, it took on a life of its own. The dancing has been excellent. I mean, you've seen the showcases that each island group or each community, each dance team that came in brought the uniqueness of the culture, you know, and they represented their own nation and their island with pride. They carried their banners high and waved their flags here and left their cultural spirit on the ground.
Today we witnessed something very significant, a collaboration, an acceptance, embrace of two different cultures sharing the same dream, the same vision for Indigenous empowerment for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people here in our homeland, Zenith, Torres Strait. Sovereignty is the theme here at the Torres Strait Cultural Festival. It once again gives us the opportunity to celebrate and to share our freedom, our rights as Indigenous peoples, the First Nation people of this region of Zenith. The winds of Zenith gives us the opportunity to echo ancient songs, dance that have been passed down through countless generations, bringing to life stories that have been kept by our custodians, our elders, from Murray in the east to Goega in the west. Even our Aboriginal brothers and sisters, whose land we celebrate, the Kaurareg nations, where we proudly and humbly celebrate our culture, our heritage, our identity, and our rights and kingship to those things that mean where we call home.
Kraal is like our totem, the dog or dingo. So it's like a totem, it's our totem. And there's magical powers, hostile magic that these men have to enforce the law, Kaurareg law. So in presenting that dance here on this day, it was to give everyone here an idea about our culture, of our true culture, the Kaurareg culture. This is who we are, this is what we had, and this is what we have, and this is who we will be.
The Winds of Zenith Cultural Festival is a very important event within the Torres Shire Council's calendar of events, which happens every 2 years within the Shire for the region. It's very important because it helps preserve the cultural identity of the Torres Strait Islander people, as well as the Aboriginal people living on the mainland as well, in close proximity to our region.
having the Kaurareg involved in this, I think it marks something in the whole history of the cultural exchange in Zenith Kes. You know, a whole healing process, a whole recognition process. It's with having them here because we celebrate on their land, and having them a part of the festival, it just shows that people are ready to create this change and move forward to showcase to everybody else that yes, we're here and we want you to experience our world, our culture, and what we have to offer.
Kay balbay kita, kapugi kasama.
Oman felt really blessed, really great to feel the energy, and especially this day. It's a day of sovereignty, of all cultures getting together. That's what he felt.
Kay pa yung apa, almun nuda din muluka. Miyakal mabay ka, niyay mabay ka muluka nuda din almun, mamulkita ng almun. Gasama ignuya. Ina kay ini gasaman. Keno bigayga.
What he said today, as you witnessed, is bringing back that sovereignty, our sovereign right, and as custodian and traditional landowners of the Kaurareg archipelago. And it's like a blessing. Yes, so God, give me a so on behalf of Kaurareg Nation. We're going to now open this dance floor, and we would like for any, maybe from Eastern brothers and sisters there, who come dance. You play one day dance, you play now, we go dance. I will mani tamamura. Come ground here. And so
I am still really touched by what really happened in our opening ceremony. It's actually the recognition, the respect to the First Nation people. And especially if the theme of this year festival of 2012 is sovereignty. And I think, from the heart, we have witnessed in the opening ceremony of 2012 sovereignty being displayed by the First Nation people of our country, the Kaurareg people. And I think one of the most important thing is the emphasis placed on healing, and that's what really it had made special for us as a region, but for us as people living in this part of Australia.
Torres Strait is our home, where we're strong in the seas of gold. Torres Strait is our home.
Yes, I just want to go give out an encouragement, a word to the young musicians. I want them to step out, reach out and grab the opportunities and talk to anyone who knows about music. The main thing is that we're being pushed forward to put our music out into the world and letting them know that there is a nation between Australia and Papua New Guinea that is very vocal.
There's more to the festival than what you can see. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff where you've got families that have come together, they haven't seen each other for a long time, they're reuniting, they're sharing stories and telling each other about their experiences, but more importantly, they're here to share the cultural identity together as a family and as a group here to showcase their cultural identity and their diversity here with us.
Having the kids perform at the festival, it just reminds the community, the whole community, whole Zenith Kes community, that it's the passing of culture. Cultural knowledge only survives when it is passed on from generation to generation. And the Thaigai students that came in here and performed here, representing the island, showcased that that cultural practice is still evident and still strong today. It's passed on from the elders, and that message is carried into the youth, and they showcased it perfectly, beautifully, and it uplifted everybody's spirit. And that to me is what the whole point of cultural showcase was for this festival, was to show that this culture is still alive, still breathing, still growing, and still practiced.
You can look at the stars, gaze at the moon, admire our soul.
Well, I was asked to build a grass hut for the entrance next to the headdress for the welcoming. It's a weak job. It's not hard, and it's good. We have our children with us, Jacob and Margaret, myself. They every minute of day and night we're down here, and they've learned, they picked up, they know what they're doing, and it's nice to have them near us to pass it on to them. Culture is all about yourself. Pass it on to a future generation and a generation to come. And I'm a festival-matic. When festival comes, I run here and there, everywhere, to get things organized. If it's not my stall, I'm part of the crew for the organizing team. Make it happen. Make sure it looks culturally.
The main focus of this festival was just to let the dancing be the showcase of it all. There was a platform for the traditional dancers to come in and show the uniqueness and the beauty of their traditional dance.
For me, it's a big celebration. It's a big party to actually really celebrate who we are, celebrate, our life's journey, but most importantly, where we've come from. And it's that kind of celebration that we need to do that. And I don't think that we do it often enough. And the thing that you celebrate is actually, it's been celebrated by someone on the other side of your region as well, and you have one thing in common, and that thing in common is the joy that we have, which is our strength.
Today, myself and my young brother Cedric are creating new styles of dancing and using new concepts in regards to the culture and the environment of the islanders. And as you may have seen tonight or last night's performance, that in our dancing there's a high-powered energy, both by male and the same level is given by the women. The footwork must be fast, and dancing with apparatuses is most important, because for an example, pull-up is for beginners, but yet if you can play with pull-up in a way that is interesting, fast and dynamic, yes, we will capture the audience, and that's what we are looking for. And playing or using simple apparatuses, for an example, a box or a stool, and using the Dhuri airdress, where everybody uses in the Torres Strait. Now, Saibai Dhuri is an imitation, is a bigger wings, the wings of a stingray. I was taught by my fathers that Dhuri dancing is like throwing a pearl shell or even a plate on the surface of the water as it descends in a zigzag pattern and finally vibrates and sits in the seabed. By using the two headdresses or the two long feathers known as kubai kub, that when you imitate that and then quick shakes to imitate the sitting and landing on the seabed. In the Western world, they have jazz, they have rock, they have all these other type of dancing. Even today, it's been influenced by dancing like the moonwalking or the rap. They like to experiment with body movements, and that's what me and Cedric are reaching for, body movements. Creating new style of Torres Strait Islander dancing to the audience of today. Use new ideas to create new styles of dancing, but yet we know what the traditional dancing is.
It's been 17 years since the Torres Strait Council has been involved in hosting the festival, but it's always in preparing or support role. It's the first time that we've actually taken on the field as a performer and performing, and I think that it actually amazes me that our workforce are very talented as well, and to actually have them and to be involved with them is it brings a different meaning to a local government, and I think that this is actually really speaking in a traditional way, interpreting that local government is closer to the people and for the people, and that's why the orange colors that is being displayed in the dance field by the Torres Strait Council workforce are both the men and the women in singing. Of course, the councillors are supporting them in that role, but the dancing is fantastic. it actually again proven that in the Torres Strait, you know, it's not the width of our talents, but the depth of our talent that continue to emerge every time that we have a festival.
The audience doesn't know this yet, but I begin the song in English, and then by the time we get to the bridge, bang, that beautiful surprise of it being converted, the song being converted into language. So it's the little sort of surprise part of the evening. I've sort of honoured both of those language groups because one, my mother is from the Kalakaua language group, and I grew up on Mabio, which is the Kalalagoya language group. So I wanted to honour those two parts of, you know, my heritage.
Christinano, yes, it is excellent having her back here. She is an icon and, you know, a inspiration to all artists here, myself including. I am a musician and I listened and grew up on Christinano's music. This reminds people that, you know, this is what can be achieved should you dedicate your life to a passion, a career, or a path.